From clay plates to amazing sculptures. Clay is one of the most important things in this society, so today I'm going to be talking about how clay is made and the different techniques to use clay. You are watching the Clay documentary. And my claim for this documentary is that every clay is different and that it is used for different things. First, what is clay? Clay is a loose material in the earth that is a result of erosion and weathering. When it's wet, it's easy to shape or mold. Clay contains many minerals. This is kaolinite and smectite. To get clay, they must dig around 24 meters deep. Then, once they dig up the clay, they must escort the clay to a building with no walls, so it can air dry. Next, they sort the clay. Once they sort the clay, they bring it to this chopper which has knives. It's kind of like a wash tub. So then they put the clay inside so it could break down into smaller pieces. Once the chopper is done pounding the clay until it's in smaller pieces, it will be escorted by a hopper to a mill where it will be heated by a furnace below. Then it will evaporate the moisture in the clay until the moisture level is at least from 1 to 2%. The next step for them to do is to grind the clay into a powder. Once it is pounded into a powder, well, it goes to this machine. It's kind of like a vacuum with spinning blades. So then the clay would get sucked up into the vacuum and it would leave the heavier substances like sand behind. Then they package all of those clay bags and bring them to the stores. This supports my claim because not every clay is made this way. We will be learning about 2 types of clay and seeing how they're different from each other. Water-based clay is basically water mixed with clay. It is very good for little projects. Water-based clay is very flexible and it is great, but some cons about it are that it dries really quickly. An example of water-based clay is Model Magic. Second, we have oil-based clays. Some examples of oil-based clays are plasticine, polymer, which is this clay right over here, and epoxy. Plasticine is very good for detailed sculptures, and polymer is great for children. And epoxy clay is great for sculpting inside fish tanks. It's really safe for the fish. A cool thing about oil-based clays are that they will never dry out. Even though they don't dry out, the temperature of things can alter their sturdiness. For example, let's pretend that I have polymer clay. And if I compress my body heat on it for too long, it will slowly get mushier. Even though polymer clay is helpful, it gets really mushy with body heat, and sometimes that's not good. Due to all of my research about clay, I can conclude that my claim was correct. And now I'm going to be teaching about the different techniques using this Model Magic. Okay, let's get started. Now I will use a technique called carving, and I will use that technique to help me make a dragon. using all of the techniques, I made a little dragon. Clay is a very cool thing, and there are many different types of it. So thank you for joining me on this experience of clay.